Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast, episode 68. I am your host, Movement. I've got Chris and a returning Matt with me this week. Say hello everybody.
Hey, hello everybody.
Matt's back, yay!
Insert lots of aggressive Isle of Man nonsense here.
Right.
that sums Matt up.
Old man yells at cloud.
Apart from the obvious question of are we all nice and warm this week, how are we all?
it's not too bad over here today.
31 fucking degrees where I'm sitting.
38 over here, mate.
It's mad.
24?
No. And I bet you've had rain as well, you jammy bastard.
Not today, we haven't.
Oh, good.
We've had clouds, but no rain.
I'm just gonna point it out to our non-UK listeners. 38 is a lot.
Right, no. It's not just that. It's that every other country, it appears to be, apart from the UK, or just in general the UK, seem to have, their houses are built to sort of withstand the temperature of their climate. UK, that doesn't happen. If it's hot, we suffer. If it's cold, we suffer. It's just like, if it's really, really hot, it's nuts. And you can, in America, you could be, 35 degrees or 80, 90 Fahrenheit, whatever, that's fine. Yeah, you live in a fucking air-conditioned building in your apartment complex with a swimming pool out the back. My garden's 3 foot by 5 foot or whatever it is.
Just to put this into context, me and Alice went to go and see if we could buy a paddling pool today, and they're all sold out.
We got one on order. We've got one turning up in the Hazard delivery tomorrow, mate. But it's going to rain tomorrow now, so that's even less useful. So brilliant. Cheers.
Well, I'll fill your paddling pool for you. Free filling of the paddling pool. What more could you want?
Great, I'm sure whichever water company I'm with will be happy for that one.
Love it.
Banter.
Indeed. We all got to, well, apart from Matt, we all got to see each other last week as well.
Yes, I met the Smooth Man and the Jack, albeit for 5 minutes before I went and got picked up at Peterborough. But yeah, it was really nice to see everyone, apart from Matt, who wasn't there yet, because, distance and getting from the Isle of Man to Peterborough for 11:30 in the morning would have been quite an interesting feat.
It set off the night before.
Yeah, I'd have had to.
I mean, to be honest, it just gave Matt a chance to just get pissed on the way there. And I'll leave him to talk from now on, because shit gets a bit real now.
I think I should kind of interject here. If you haven't seen Jack's Twitter, you go and check it out at Tiger FM. I think it's at _Tiger FM actually. But there's a video of Jack and Matt singing something stupid to each other. It's quite emotionally charged.
It was a good night. So the day that we're talking about, I managed to meet up with Jack and Smooth when I just couldn't get down for when Chris was there. I started work at 9 p.m. at night. I finished work at 7 a.m. in the morning. I went to the co-op, got a miniature of vodka to mix with a bottle of Coke to have on the bus on the way down to the airport. Got to the airport, had 4 bottles of Peroni. I then flew to Birmingham, landed in Birmingham Airport, bought 4 more bottles of Peroni, got on the train, and got to Peterborough. And from there, havoc ensued.
Yeah, so the whole reason this happened was Matt kindly donated money to Kev, who was on 2 weeks ago for his MGPX, which is his gaming convention for his podcast.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's warm. Leave me alone. Which Matt kindly sponsored quite a bit of money towards, and we kind of put Bad Booker's name in there as well, because we're
just a bit in the vlog.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We are in his vlog a lot, just screaming Bad Bookers down it. So, if you've come over from Kev, hello.
Question is, were you robbed in the old? Because there was a lot of "we were robbed" shouts during the quiz. Air your grievances now.
We got 44 out of 45 on the logo quiz round. Yet apparently we only got 36 points
total.
Yeah, apparently it was 55, not 36. Just somebody can't write, but yeah.
we
robbed, blatantly robbed. So I got a DM from Kev directly saying,
Yes, you
sort
did.
your
So
mates
did I.
out. What is
So
wrong with
did
your
I.
friends? Which had loads of cards with sexual positions written on them.
Yeah. So they must have been playing. I think they played with Skrull. This
Yeah.
is this massive tangent already, but it was well worth it. They were playing a game called Skrull. If you haven't heard of it, I believe it's like Pictionary for adults.
It's a cross between Pictionary and Chinese Whispers. So basically what you do is you're given a card with 4 different colours on, and each colour has different things written on it. And if it's pink, you're doing the pink round, you've got to draw whatever the pink section is. So I had written in the pink section, when they chose pink, a cheeky reach around.
All right.
So I drew a cheeky reach, which was just 2 stick men. And, of course, then the next person writes... So basically, you draw what it is and then pass it on to the person to your left. And they have to write what they think you've drawn. And then the next person has to draw what that person's written. And then the next person has to guess what that is and write it. So, it just...
So looking at this, it just looks like a lot of stick men doing another stick man from behind.
Yeah.
And then it turns
going to have the arm round for the reach around.
And it's got lots of doggy style references. So Kev then tweeted in the DMs, both me and Chris, saying, "Come and fetch your mates, they're perverts," which is just highly amusing. So I left quite early. I'm quite glad I did.
Yeah, you missed the fun stuff.
I missed all the fun stuff. To be honest, I'm quite glad, because I think I'd have been involved and I might have lost my job, so we'll move on. Let's get into the news for this week. There's not a lot of news, but we'll get through that, and then we'll talk about what happened this week with the Raw reunion and SmackDown and NXT. So, first part of news, AEW related. AEW have announced that Wednesday night Dynamite will start on October the 2nd. They did a massive reveal for this over on YouTube and on Instagram. There was lots of AEW on TNT accounts just popping up out of nowhere.
Is that the name confirmed?
I don't think that's the name confirmed, but they've confirmed that their weekly show will start on 2nd of October.
So they're definitely going head-to-head with NXT then?
Yes.
And NXT, Vince has told the NXT that they are specifically in direct competition with AEW. As far as I know.
They have also applied... there's rumours going around at the moment saying that NXT is moving to TV and going on to Tuesday nights.
Nah. I can't.
Thing is, right, this is where we've had I've seen loads of debates on Twitter. There's people arguing, WWE's dead because of AEW. I don't think it is. Because if you're going to have that on a Wednesday, people will still watch NXT. They just won't watch it at the same time. They will watch it later. People will still watch NXT.
I'll be curious to see what NXT's weekly viewing figures are. I'd be curious. I don't think they're very high at all.
Even now?
Oh, yeah, especially now because it's not at its best. It hasn't got the bigger stars on there regularly. With all due respect, it just hasn't. And, I mean, I don't watch it week to week.
I don't.
I watch takeovers.
Today's the first time I watched it for a while.
I watch takeovers, and I enjoy those.
The thing I would say is anybody who thinks they'll enjoy AEW TV will enjoy NXT TV, because the week-to-week show is the only decent week-to-week show out there at the moment. It's better than Raw. It's better than SmackDown. It has actual storytelling that works. Everything flows. You've got decent wrestling. It's exactly what people are saying they want from AEW.
Okay. It's just, I mean, see, the thing with it is, what do you think WWE's reaction is going to be to that? Because because at that point, would they try and get some of their bigger stars off NXT and into the main limelight? I'm talking about the likes of, well, not necessarily Gargano and Ciampa, because Ciampa's still a while away from coming back. But then you've got, Undisputed Era. You've got Street Profits, who are already making regular appearances on Raw. I mean,
I genuinely don't think we'll ever see Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster. The injury that he's got will keep his career short. I know he'll be fixed, and he'll have. I don't think he's got more than 2 years. I don't think we'll ever see Tommaso Ciampa going up to main roster. He wants to go back to NXT. I think he'll probably say there's no point in me going to the main roster, because by the time there's a chance that you might build me, I'll probably need to retire. So I don't think.
Yeah, that's fair. And at that point, you get the Gargano Ciampa rematch to draw a line under all that. Gargano goes up to the main roster because Gargano's going to go soon. He has to, really. Otherwise, he's just going to stop.
I'm not sure that's the case either. I think we're more likely to see main roster stars go back down to NXT because of this, rather than NXT stars come up.
Yeah. I agree. Mainly because as well, if you look at people like Tyler Breeze wasn't really being utilised. Granted, Fandango got injured, and therefore what little momentum he had in the tag team division with him was stopped. So that's why they made the big decision for him to go back to NXT. But he's only been there for, less than a month, and then we haven't seen him again. He did that last takeover. We haven't seen him since.
But then, by having established WWE main roster talent go back to NXT, what happens to the up-and-coming NXT wrestlers who are already there? Example, I mean, yes, he was in the main event this time, but Keith Lee, you've got people like him who are, in theory, underutilized. Cassius Ohno's another one.
Yeah, but Cassius Ohno is now NXT UK.
Okay, fine, but
he's now a trainer over in the UK, I think.
Okay, I mean, what I'm trying to get at is what happens to the already established NXT guys who will lose some of their TV time and story-based momentum-building time to cater for WWE already established talent coming back to NXT is an hour?
Yeah.
A week. I mean, it's pre-taped and blah, 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 but it's an hour.
There's a lot of rumours, and has been for 6 months at this point, that NXT will be 2 hours before long. And I think they can make that work. I think if it is 2 hours, I think the way they'll do it is by bringing main roster stars down. They're already starting to do it. Apollo Crews, was it this week or last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
Yeah, he was. That's right.
Apollo Crews to come down. We've had obviously Tyler Breeze. I think there's a lot of main roster stars that probably benefit from going back to NXT and having NXT as a third brand away from Vince McMahon, where they can showcase. Yes, I might not be a star in terms of drawing power for TV, but for nerds who actually like wrestling, who are the people that are watching NXT at the moment, then I think that's where I think that's where a lot of the guys that don't get pushed on the main roster could flourish by just showing off their wrestling.
I think as well, it would be a good opportunity. These guys have been in the business for a couple of years now. So like people like Tyler Breeze, I know he's been in there longer. You've got, say, Apollo Crews or whoever else. They've been in main roster. They've been around people with knowledge. They have some sort of knowledge themselves. It's only going to be helpful for these new guys anyway.
I still think that WWE needs a cull, and I understand that the likelihood that it's going to happen is quite slim because of AEW. But AEW's rise isn't going to. I don't think that they're going to. If for instance you're not going to get another Damien Sandow position where as soon as Damien Sandow leaves, he appears on Impact as Aaron Rex. I don't think you're going to see that with AEW guys. AEW know who they want, and they're waiting and they're biding their time for the right people to come on. They're not just picking up any WWE talent for a cheap, quote-unquote, a cheap pop. They don't need it.
They're not Impact from 2010. They're not
exactly.
At all, because AEW know the stars that they want and the type of wrestlers they want, and most of them they can get without having them being WWE rejects.
Yeah, the current WWE roster, the depth in it is staggering. The amount of wrestlers that they have on their books now is fucking staggering. Yeah. And I think it's time that some of them, either it's a case of, either we're going to put you in this position or you're going to fuck off. And I think it's what needs to happen now.
The issue with that is they have to, or in Vince McMahon's eyes, they have to have 6 shows a week, at least. And that's what they're having at the moment, with house shows and
main event and superstars and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get that.
And so I don't think...
house shows don't draw anymore, at all, in any way. House shows get 300-400 in attendance? Unless it's the European tour?
Was it this week or last week the stats were released that Seth Rollins is the lowest drawing Universal Champion in history.
No,
Kofi
since
Kingston.
Jinder.
No, he's lower than Jinder.
Fuck
for house shows and Raw shows that he appears on. He's getting something like he's averaging 200 people less than Jinder Mahal was as WWE champion.
Wow. May I point out that I think that's purely because of booking.
Oh yeah, it's and that's like a lot of news articles were saying, "Oh, this proves that Jinder Mahal was a better champion." It's bollocks. All it proves is that WWE's output is so fucking awful at the moment that nobody wants to go and watch it.
Seth has been literally booked into a corner.
No, I think Seth Rollins is nowhere near as good as people say he is, and I think he is part of the problem, but he's not worse than Jinder Mahal.
Can I just point out, I saw a comment quite recently that really makes sense here. I can't remember where I saw it. It may well have been Reddit. I mean, usually Reddit is my source of most shit, but, you know. Seth, as a face of the company, doesn't work. Because he's temperamental on Twitter. He doesn't handle interviews very well. Roman, as the face of the company, just works. It always has. Because bear in mind, Roman's basically been the face of the company for the past 2 or 3 years, give or take. For me, I think he's the face of the company. He needs to become the face of the company again. Roman needs to be champion again.
Yeah, because Roman's not a temperamental
little child,
psychopath. Yeah, like Seth Rollins' Twitter game is dreadful. He's in interviews this week or last week saying that the storyline creative is, at the moment is the best it's ever been. He's just absolute. He's either high on drugs or mentally incapacitated in some way.
I just don't think it. I get the impression he doesn't think before he speaks, or that or he's very, very reactive. I mean, stuff like in an interview, what was it? It was in a podcast or something. He said, well, the Moxley was taking food off his plate, or words to that effect. I'm thinking, what is your fucking problem? You know, I fully understand. You back your product. You back the product you work for. You're the face of the company. You back that product. But at the end of the day, don't say stupid shit like that. Because what you're doing is you're acknowledging AEW as a credible threat, which at the moment they're not. Right now they're not. Yeah, you know they're a company. They're a company that's had 3 shows and has a TV deal starting in 3 months or 2.5 months now. You know, just be realistic here. You know, it's just silly. All of it is just incredibly silly and unnecessary.
Yeah, he is acting like a petulant child, and sooner or later it's going to catch up with him, and he's going to start getting the backlash from the fans that I think probably was already going to come after the terrible programs that he's been put in by WWE. It's not all his own doing. WWE have booked him abysmally, you're right, since Mania, but he's not helping himself.
Seth is back to the character with no character, which is what he was before that gauntlet match on Raw, like, 8 or 9 months ago?
That's nearly 2 years ago now.
Well, that gauntlet match is
2018.
Fuck me. Oh, I guess. All right, fine then. Because back before then, I had no opinion on Seth Rollins. He wasn't a character. He was like, okay, yes, you can wrestle, but what is your character? What do you do here? You know, are you? You know, you couldn't put him in anything. You couldn't label him with anything. You can't say, oh, he's a tweener. A tweener is just a fucking cop out of a response.
Yeah. And he's back to being probably, my opinion of him is lower than it was then. Back then, at least he was putting on good matches, but recently, his in-ring stuff has been unforgettable.
Average.
It's unforgettable. Like,
I think mean forgettable.
Yeah, it is forgettable. That's what I meant.
Yeah, and his on mic work. It's just.
It's
almost like he's phoning it in. You know, just I've got to do this because, you know, the boss wants me to do this, so I'm going to do it, blah, blah. It's just shit.
Indeed. Back to the news, because that was awesome tangent.
Christ, I was, yeah. No,
I love it. Brand Central, I like it. Other AEW news, MJF, probably the best heel in the history of wrestling, has signed a multi-year extension with AEW. I think that's great news. I don't think there's any more to say on that, really.
No, he's a guy that they can build. They can really build a lot. He could be. A face is only as good as the heel that he's facing, and you need. I mean, he could be the Triple H of the late '90s, early 2000s. Because you had Stone Cold and Rock one side, and the other side you had the heel. The main heel was Triple H back then. So he could be the Triple H of the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, they've got somebody there that arguably it'd be a better opponent for Chris Jericho or whoever, Kenny Omega, or because at the moment is it Hangman Page? Is he supposed to be the heel for this title match?
Page isn't going to be a heel at all. He's the golden boy, isn't he?
So Jericho's the heel, but at the moment, Page just looks lackluster and has had some abysmal matches in their pay-per-views.
Didn't we ever talk about this a couple of weeks? Didn't we talk about this?
We mentioned it last week.
Useless. Neither of them really should be in that title picture. I'd have had MJF versus Omega.
But there's plenty of time to do that anyway.
I think the thing is, because this is going to be their big show before their weekly shows, isn't it, really? They're not going to do another one before this, that I'd know of. You want a big star name who's going to be in the main event. That's Jericho.
Yeah.
If you're a wrestling fan, no matter where you are, you know who Chris Jericho is. And
Jericho's there to put Hangman Page over and make him credible as a champion.
Indeed. And then we'll see what happens with him after that. I think you just need to get to All Out, see Hangman Page win the title, and then see what they do with him after that.
I almost don't want that. I don't want that to happen.
I genuinely think Chris Jericho will take the title.
I don't think it will. But that's for another day. Talking of potential AEW members, Pac has lost his Open the Dreamgate Championship in Dragon Gate this week, which could be the start of him finally appearing on AEW TV or somewhere. Could this mean, throwing this out there into what we've just talked about, is this where Hangman Page is screwed over by Mr. Pac?
That would be cool. However, for the last pay-per-view going into their first live TV show, do they want a... Oh, no, they do. They would want that because it gives a reason to tune in on the first week. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Indeed. What's going to happen next after we got screwed over by Pac? I'm excited.
By the way, you know, last week we were taking a piss out of Brandy's wrestling.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see on Twitter that she's posting stuff of her actually doing in-ring work again now? It's what Alexa Bliss did, where basically people take a piss out of Alexa, so she shows her practicing and training and doing like flips and shit.
Cheers, Jeff.
Yeah.
Effectively. And then finally, in our last bit of news, this came out yesterday or today, I think. Jimmy Uso. I'm reading this as Jack has written it. Jimmy Uso might be able to handle championship gold, but it's a shame he can't handle simple common sense decisions when he's had a few. The twat.
Yeah.
I've not seen this story.
Jimmy, is it Jimmy?
Yes.
Jimmy has been arrested for a DUI. Well, no. This time is drinking. This is driving under influence. This is a full DUI. This isn't drunk and disorderly. This is him being behind the wheel.
That's what it was last time.
No, it wasn't. No. He wasn't arrested. He wasn't arrested for drinking, driving under influence. That Naomi was driving. Jimmy was aggressive, got out the car, and wanted to fight a policeman. He was drunk and wanted to fight a policeman.
They literally joked about this on Raw or SmackDown.
They joked about it on Raw.
And
John Cena ripped into him and went, "Oh God."
Oh yeah. It was that was it. John Cena was criticising them for, and they just laughed and went, "Yeah, I was being a dick whilst I was drunk. Oh yeah, I'm fun, aren't I?"
I've just done it again.
I'm not being funny, right? He was arrested in February for this, for drunk and disorderly.
Yeah,
that's the second drunk thing he's been arrested for in 5 months. WWE have to act now. They do. I'm sorry, but they do. They won't.
If they used to the title at SummerSlam, that's how they'll react. That's what they did last time.
They need something more. I'm sorry, but it needs to be more.
Give them 2 titles.
It's just, as long as they don't try and mock it on TV, like
they will.
Yeah, but they shouldn't though, because it's a serious thing. It's not something you take the piss out of.
They will. It's the Usos. They joke around. They definitely will. They'll get into a feud with somebody. They'll have a rap battle. Someone will mention it. Everybody will laugh. Ha ha ha. Tee hee hee.
See, he got done for driving whilst under the influence of alcohol. Could have killed someone.
Lol.
That's good shit, damn it.
Nice.
Right. Let's talk about Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So, Raw this week was Raw Reunion. I'm going to hold my hands up and say, at points, I popped like a little bitch. I'm part of the problem. Million Dollar Man's theme for a start, because his theme is awesome.
No, I popped twice.
In Stone Cold, probably.
I popped to the toilet a couple times.
I didn't pop for Stone Cold, no. I popped for Bray Wyatt murdering Mick Foley, and I popped for the Boogeyman.
I'm the Boogeyman, and I'm coming to get you. I enjoyed every part of the 24/7 title this week, mainly because it's as silly as it needs to be. The fact that Pat Patterson was trending on Twitter in 2019 shows you how amazing the 24/7 title
Patterson was a title holder
in 2019 and was trending on Twitter. Cheers, WWE, for those memories. The 24/7 stuff was good.
Intergender title now.
It's now an intergender title because Kelly won it, and Alundra Blaze. I didn't even know that was Alundra Blaze at first. I was like, "Who is that?" It's Alundra Blaze. And then of course, they did the title in the bin spot before the $1 Million Man came out, and he says, "Everybody's got a price. Here's some money. I'll take the title off you." Yeah. And the fact that, as well, R-Truth wins it back at the end of the night, and then jumps in the limo with Renee and not Carmella, and then Drake's like, Renee, I'm so... You're not Renee. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed the 24/7 stuff.
Do you think he's going to try and constipate Drake Maverick's wedding?
I don't know, but was it Jack who said he wanted Hornswoggle to just turn up and take the title?
I don't understand why that didn't happen. That was the most obvious gag for the whole night.
It would have been
Hornswoggle to take the title.
However, it
and then have Maverick and Hornswoggle stood next to each other, and R-Truth just implodes.
It's just, I think it could be based on his schedule.
Yeah, possibly.
And based on whether WWE asked him. Because Vince McMahon's not going to come up with ideas like that.
As if Vince gives a flying fuck about that.
According to people, apparently he's going to shed all of the money and sell it to XFL or whatever nonsense was going around Twitter this week. I don't understand. I just don't read.
I don't read Smoothman 2019.
The start of the night was obviously John Cena's return.
Yay!
He seems to, when he's not there a lot, the crowd freaking love him.
Yeah.
And then we had the Usos came out, and then we had the stupid gag about, you look exactly like your mugshot. Tee hee hee hee. Cheers. Rikishi was there.
Yes, mate.
Rikishi was reportedly not allowed to take. We're not allowed to give out stink faces because he wasn't cleared to do so. Because apparently, health insurance reasons, from what I've read.
Yeah, no one wants to take that from a 60, 70-year-old man. That's just bad noise.
And then Devon Dudley was there because obviously Bubba Ray was rejected. I think he rejected going, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
So in order to in Dudley time, we'll put him with a revival.
Yeah. What?
Why? For what reason? Oh, they're heels.
I understand Rikishi and the Usos. Him being their father and all. That makes sense.
Oh, it was just nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Yep.
Although I was really annoyed when they teased that Scotty 2 Hotty was going to come out and dance with them and then never did. That annoyed me.
More awkward if they were going to tease Brian Christopher coming out of dance, wasn't it?
Please.
Probably why they didn't invite Scotty 2 Hotty along, because
Probably everyone were like, where's
Grandmaster Sexay?
Or King could have come out and dressed up as him. He did that after he died, didn't he?
What?
Jerry Lawler literally dressed up in Brian Christopher's
No, he didn't.
stuff. Go and have a look. The week after Brian Christopher died, Jerry Lawler wrestled in a Brian Christopher outfit.
I think he did, I think I did see that. I think Matt is actually telling the truth. For once, Matt's not a raging alcoholic and spouting nonsense. He's got the vodka. It's all good. We've talked about the 24/7. Drew McIntyre destroyed Cedric Alexander, which him doing the reverse Alabama slam to the apron looks...
Yeah. It looks brutal.
It does. It does. And to be honest, I just wish they'd booked Drew McIntyre better, but such is the modern WWE product these days. We then had the Viking Raiders actually face an actual tag team this week.
Yay.
Are they an actual tag team?
Well, they were tag team champions, mate. Therefore, they're tag team. They're a tag team. They're legit.
I mean,
but yeah, the Viking Raiders destroyed Hawkins and Ryder. End of story.
What a surprise.
Then Samoa Joe kind of pretty much just summed up most of the night, saying, what's the point in having this as a nostalgia trip when clearly we should be bigging up new talent? And I kind of agree with him. Cheers. He's supposed to be a heel here, but he's a face through and through this segment. He insulted the Rikishi, and then Roman Reigns turned up because obviously relations.
Bloodlines.
Who isn't related to Roman Reigns. Then they had a brawl. Then they decided to have a match. Oh, well, actually, no. I'll have a match with you. Nah, I'm all right, cheers. Yeah, but you walking off. I'll have a match with you. Go on, then. What?
Logic.
Wrestling logic just thrown out the window. And then we had Roman Reigns beat Samoa Joe with a spear. Cheers. I just don't know why.
Like, this is the week that you're bringing back a massive or a lot bigger audience than been looking at Raw recently. I think they got an extra million viewers this Raw, and what they've done is they've shown off Roman beating Samoa Joe, and there was maybe 3 more matches on the card. Like, if you're going to tell everyone that there's going to be lots of people here, why not put over some of your talent?
Agreed. Because that's what the reunions used to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the whole point. Pretty much. Yeah, if you're not having a young guy going over the legend, when the legend returns, you have the young guys putting on some stellar matches or cutting some great promos so that you can see that like you draw in those people that have come back and they go, oh, well, I came back because I'm a massive xenophobe and I love Hulk Hogan, but let's have a look and let's watch some of these kids, because actually I came back to watch Hulk Hogan, but I also accidentally watched a match between Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander, and it was amazing.
But this is WWE. This is Vince. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But Vince used to do that when he was good.
Idiot. He's out of touch, mate. The Seth Rollins on Miz TV. Why? Can we also draw the fact that as well as Miz TV on this week, we also had a Moment of Bliss, and then we had a second Miz TV on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Get in.
Talk shows on wrestling shows do my nutting. Absolute waste of time. I'm not going to talk about the Miz one because it was trash.
I mean, I can't even remember what happened. That's how good the one with Seth Rollins.
Speaking his mind about...
No, we need to talk about this because fucking this is where Seth Rollins ruined his entire career.
Oh, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar is a Seth Rollins wannabe. How much have you been smoking? Like, is he on Ket or something? For fuck. Like, at what point has Brock Lesnar ever wanted to be Seth Rollins? Like, Brock Lesnar is a successful Universal Champion. Seth Rollins held it for 3.5 weeks and then had to give it back.
Isn't the whole thing about him being a wannabe is because he cashed in at WrestleMania and therefore he cashed in on him? And it's like he did it 3 years later, and he's like, "I just want to be a wannabe."
That's bullshit. It's like saying that I don't know.
Damien Sandow's a Dolph Ziggler wannabe. Come on.
So everybody's an Edge wannabe because Edge cashed in the title, the Money in the Bank contract first.
You know what that is? That's a heel promo. It is. That's what a heel would say.
Yeah,
you're all just wannabes. You all want to be like me.
And then trying to chase after watching Paul Heyman run away from Seth Rollins was highly amusing.
Oh yes.
It's like watching those giant T-Rexes run away. So those massive suits. It was like watching one of those. But yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Sami Zayn was backstage. Interrupted a Legends party. Call out the has-beens. Rey Mysterio took offense. Bearing in mind, I'm sorry, I need to bring this up now. They're dubbing Alicia Fox as a legend.
Yeah, full-time contract holder Alicia Fox is a legend.
She's got a legendary Northern Light suplex now. A legendary Northern Light suplex.
I mean, she's a SummerSlam, Survivor Series captain winning, the team captain winner. Does that make her a legend?
Has she won any titles? I need to just check this.
She won the Divas title, I'm sure she has.
Did she?
To the Wikipedia machine.
Alicia Fox.
But yeah, there was a tweet that I saw this week about Alicia Fox where it said,
"Okay, make sure you spell her first name right."
Naughty. She was a number 8. She was the 8th Divas champion and held it for how many days? I'll put a little quiz up to you. How many days do you say Alicia Fox held it for?
17.
10.
More.
30.
I'm going to go to the internet to find out.
50.
Slightly more.
55.
One more.
56
she had it
days.
for 56 days and then lost it to Melina.
GG's. There was definitely a tweet this week that I saw about Alicia Fox, and it said apparently she's retiring, and this is why we've not seen her for a while. That's why she was part of this.
Isn't she like an alcoholic or some shit? Allegedly?
Probably. But then someone then said, "Oh yeah, I really enjoyed her wrestling matches against." I don't remember. Literally don't remember. That's what someone tweeted, and it was somebody who was like, I think it was Gorilla Position put it. I think. I'm sorry if that was incorrect, but I'm sure it was some account like that had said, "Alicia Fox is retiring. Everybody remember these matches." Oh wait, no, we don't. Because it's Alicia Fox.
Forever been known as Alicia Fox. Right, no, I think she's held it more than once, you know. Give me a second.
I can't see.
Absolute scenes. But yeah, while we're talking about...
one-time champion.
Just Googling this mid-pod. Back to Sami Zayn, calling out legends. Backstage, there was somebody backstage who I'd never seen. I've not a clue. There was so many people there, mainly from the women's roster. I think they must have been the Divas when I stopped.
Melina, I know Melina was there.
I don't know. I didn't even know who Melina was.
Shout out to Christian though.
Alicia Fox was with Tori Wilson.
I know Tori Wilson. I know.
I bet you
Kelly
do.
Kelly. I know Kelly mainly because of WWE games.
Mainly because of when you were a teenager, Smoothman.
What, Tori Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah. It's all about them teenage bra and panty matches, mate. Wrestling in the 90s.
Yeah, definitely don't say that when you're at work, mate.
Definitely won't. No. So we had a match.
Stacey Keebler, that's all I want to know.
What?
Where was Stacey Keebler?
Being isn't she like a...
You lagged at a very inappropriate time there. What were you saying?
I said maybe she's like doing some gymnastic stuff, or is she a gymnast?
Let's find out. Let's go to the internet.
We know wrestling people, guys.
Yeah.
We're really good.
That's what we
While
remember.
Chris is finding that out, just to continue this really long segment about Rey Mysterio versus Sami Zayn. Mysterio beat Sami Zayn in a match because he didn't like the way that he was giving grief to
What
legends.
happened to Sami Zayn?
But also, can we just also understand why Rob Van Dam was there wearing full gear but then didn't do anything?
Because he's an Impact wrestler.
Because he doesn't have any other gear apart from his singlet.
Because you've got the weirdest, like, there's a photo here, and it's a picture of Thingy wearing full gear, Rob Van Dam.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Hurricane has to wear full gear because it's the Hurricane.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. I would have loved to see the Hurricane win the 24/7 title. Just for that. And then Kurt Angle wearing his general manager attire.
All right.
What's up with that?
I love Hurricane.
But the Hurricane was at he was at Comic-Con?
Yeah.
And he was there and then
he got a 2 count.
He got a 2 count and then just went, I'm off. I love him. What a guy.
I love how a roll up is like a finishing move now when it comes to 24/7 title.
I mean, if you trip backwards over a bag, somebody can just stomp on you once and then pin you with their foot.
That's what I was about to mention.
Like, you trip backwards over a bag, got one stomp.
Twice, like with the tamest of kicks.
Yeah, and then put his foot on and they went, count, ref.
Count. I'll stand on him and you pin him. Cool.
I'm too old to get on the floor because I won't get back up again, so yeah.
Gerald Briscoe. What a guy.
Oh, yeah, he still exists.
I forgot he completely existed until like today. Oh, Seth Rollins and AJ Styles had a match. This match ended in a DQ because of they're now calling them the OC.
California.
Which is all I thought.
California.
Which is all I thought of when
It sounds more like Sons of Anarchy. To me, it's been more like Sons of Anarchy-esque.
If they don't come out with their new theme of Phantom Planet, I'm just not going to watch the product anymore.
Like I get it's supposed to mean original club, is it?
That's clearly a massive dig at like Bullet Club.
Of course it is.
And I saw a tweet today from Tamatonga saying that he's drinking the blood of AJ Styles. Apparently he's drunk on AJ Styles as like
fucking Tommy Tangos.
I was like, what a guy.
Tammy Tongo.
Love him. It's going to be at Royal Quest, just so you know. This match was what a waste of just I can't even.
So did DX come out and bury the OC?
No. Yeah. So the match ended up in a DQ. With Anderson.
Yeah, the OC interfered, and then
it was a 3-on-1
for no reason at all. Seth Rollins had been accompanied to the ring by Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
No, they came down later. I'm sure they did.
No, they were there from the start. And then when the OC interfered, they then kicked Rollins out of the ring, and then they all put the 2 Sweet up because it was the same as the old click thing. Then Shawn Michaels and Triple H got in the ring, and they put it up, and then Road Dogg came out with his music.
No. They put it up, and then they did the suck it.
Yeah. That was right.
And
they did the
on the outside like a little lost child.
Yeah.
It's a meme and I love it.
Have you seen the meme that I sent you where it's the Fallout and it's Fallout with 76 is Seth Rollins and all the other Fallouts the click?
Brilliant.
Yeah. That is probably the best meme I've seen.
Yeah, but so then Road Dogg and Billy Gunn wasn't there, was he?
No, Road Dogg made a joke saying, "Hang on, with the spirit of China, that makes it 7. Was it 7?" And he goes, "I forgot Billy Gunn. What does that make it?" I was never good at maths. I was just like, "Well, this is a train wreck."
Yeah, but obviously Billy Gunn can't be there because he's being employed by AEW.
Obviously,
and taking a lot of steroids.
Absolute unit.
There's not even an alleged he's done for taking steroids.
But
yeah,
it was just.
Now is it Kevin Nash is now part of the DX because
no,
he was part of
it's Click, isn't
it? So they were wearing NWO shirts, him and Scott.
And they came out with DX though, which the NWO is not DX. Like I know it was a direct copy.
bearing in mind when Sting was there, when Sting had a match.
Yeah, it was DX versus fucking NWA.
Continuity, guys, come on. We know you're friends, but on screen.
It's fine because Triple H went over Sting though at Mania, so you know that makes total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then Seth ended his career. The end. I have to go now. My planet needs me. Good old Triple H booking. I love
it. That segment was awful. Let's move on. The Fiend. So Mick Foley came out.
Yeah, this is good. This bit, go on.
Mick Foley came out and was going to do a historical moment. My best bit about this. But before that even happened, half the 24/7 people were running through, and then he was like, "I'm going to take that title someday." I was like, "Cool, yeah, please don't. Please just stay away." And then there was a bit where he's then going through. Right, they asked me to come out and talk about what my favourite moment was of Raw. And I was like, this isn't Raw 25. What are you doing? That's what it felt like. Felt like what Raw 25 probably should have included.
Wait. What was the point in this?
What do you mean? What was the point in this? Was USA Network have said, well, your viewing figures have dropped nearly 1 million people in 12 months. Fix it. Bring back some.
And they're up 640,000, I believe, for this one.
Yeah.
So great. Looks like we're going to get weekly Hulk Hogan appearances again.
Please no.
Going for Hulk Hogan to win the 24/7 title.
That's the day that the 24/7 title dies.
As much as it possibly is, I'd still pop my tits off.
No, because I fucking hate Hogan.
No,
I've never been a Hogan fan.
But
ever.
what you do is when Hogan then loses the title, he loses it to Big E.
Please.
Or Booker T.
Lose it to Drake or something. The rapper.
But yeah, so Mick Foley's talking about his favourite segment, and it's just showing him on the shoulders of everybody when he wins the WWE title, which was good. And then all of a sudden it went.
All right, no need for the sound effects, but okay, I'm with you.
I'm very good at sound effects.
I like this because it's not just instant lights out everywhere, so you're not thinking it's the same as every other fucking
Undertaker,
person who's scary.
Boogeyman, and enter wicked, edgy character.
It's like the audio slows down, then one bank of lights goes off, then another, then another. This is being treated perfectly. And I was really worried about his live appearances.
And they did the live.
I was worried that WWE were just going to fuck them all up, and so far they're doing it properly.
And then it's okay because then Bray proceeds to fuck Mick Foley quite through all three holes. To be honest,
what's really different to this one?
Mandible Claw.
No. The bit with the one with the Finn Balor last week was you see him in the middle of the ring holding the Sister Abigail ready.
Yeah.
This week, he's in the ring, and I think he stood behind Mick Foley, and he's got his hands over his face like this, to his ears, and obviously he's got hurt and heel. So he's put his hands to his ears, and then he takes the heel one away because the hurt one is talking to him, and then he goes and hurts Mick Foley. I noticed that. I was like, oh my god, yeah, actually he's got hurt and heel. So is it sometimes where there might be this kind of entrance where he's in the middle of the ring and he's got heel and he goes, right, I'm going to heal you, you're going to be joining my band of brothers.
Was his promo was his promo on Finn? That was SmackDown, wasn't it?
That's SmackDown.
Yeah, we'll get to that then. Okay.
We'll get to that, yeah. So obviously they did the lights while he's doing the hurt and heel thing. Then he attacks Mick Foley and we still get a little bit of the lights and then it goes full light. Yeah. And to be honest, I enjoy every second of this, and from what they keep doing when we talk about it on SmackDown, I think the Fiend is going to be prominent more, which is good.
Well, he's going to absolutely fuck the living daylights out of Finn Balor because Finn's off for 2 months.
Yeah,
but we'll get to that.
Moment of Bliss, I actually skipped.
Yeah, well, we'll skip it now then.
It just descended into a brawl between Becky Lynch and Natalya for reasons.
I mean, spoilers, it didn't even happen. because Natalia interrupted before Alexa Bliss could finish her first sentence. So there was no moment of breath.
What's the point?
Why is Natalia in a title feud in 2019?
Because they need something for her to. Because they need. There's no one really that Becky can face at the moment that's an easy win.
Just scrap all of those other responses, Chris. She's Canadian. It's in Toronto.
Oh, there you go then. Fine. Yeah,
that's all we need. That's where SummerSlam is, isn't it?
Interference maybe from Beth Phoenix. Maybe.
Probably. For reasons. Braun Strowman versus local competitor. So apparently Bobby Lashley was worthless, and now we have local competitors.
That's fine. I honestly, I'm fine with watching Braun murder individuals. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
If you've got nothing else for him to do at the moment, beating up jobbers is perfect.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, it just makes him keeps him looking strong.
It's very clear.
Didn't even need his finishing move to beat this 17-year-old kid. It's fine.
What was his name?
Nicholas.
Oh, this is. I also had a problem with it. So he was Randy Rowe, and they cut from the YouTube comments. But I don't know. Do you remember Randy Rhodes, who was guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne, who died in a horrific plane crash?
Oh God.
And I can't remember which one of the commentators it was, but it made Corey Graves' corpse, so it must have been one of the other ones. But after Braun Strowman threw him across the ring, he said, "This Randy Rowe flies like Randy Rhodes."
Oh.
Yes, making jokes about a horrific plane crash that killed someone.
That can't be Michael Cole.
On live TV.
He's not that witty.
So who's the other one? Byron Saxton? Is he the third one?
No, because they had some...
That was SmackDown that they didn't have them on.
No, they didn't have... They had extra commentators, didn't they? So
no, that was SmackDown.
No, Booker T did an extra bit.
Oh, right, yeah.
Did a bit.
I don't know. It was on the. It's not on the YouTube highlights because they've cut it because obviously it's disgusting and you can't say that. But it's on the live version of Raw. It's not on the edited version that Sky Sports do. That's like 3 days later. Yeah,
yay.
Yeah, I mean, just if you're on commentary, try not to reference things that kill people.
Yeah, cheers. And then the night finished with the weirdest segment ever. So all of the legends filed out onto the stage. We then had Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. The Hulk Hogan came out, thanked the crowd, literally did his... He can't speak, that man. He can't actually string a sentence together. He said something this week and he was like, brother. And I was like, he's just said about 4 words.
Who was that? Oh, was that Hulk? He can't be that far from the aneurysm that you're wanting to have, surely. He's not that far away from it now, some sort of cerebral hemorrhage or something.
Thunderdome or whatever it was. Welcome to back to the Thunderdome, folks.
Sorry, I don't care. Couldn't give a fuck about Hogan. And yet,
Ric Flair looked like he'd had a fall because he's got a massive blood gash on the top of his forehead.
Oh, drinking. You know what he's like.
For goodness sake.
A few drinks the night before, brother.
Well, if you listen to the Stone Cold segment where he talks about what he did the night before, it sounded like he was in an all-nighter.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Meeting Ron Simmons in the lift and going, damn! Which I'd pay to see. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, it was a very weird ending. I don't mind them celebrating, but this felt like a celebration that you have at Raw 1000, Raw 2000, Raw 25, not at a reunion show in the middle of July.
Well, they couldn't call the show "Our Ratings Are Low. Come and see us, please."
Well, they might as well just call it "Hulk Hogan's Back."
Sort of.
Be like,
we forgive the racism.
But there is a very, very good photo on Twitter doing the rounds of Hulk Hogan, but in the background is just Booker T's face. You've seen it. It's Booker T really angrily looking at Hulk Hogan.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
It's funny. But that was Raw. SmackDown was a completely different show and actually was relatively okay.
Was Shane on it?
Apart from Shane McMahon kicking off SmackDown.
So they
started the night where Shawn Michaels was supposed to be commentary. So I was watching this going, why is Big E and Xavier Woods sat at commentary?
So what had happened is one of the normal SmackDown commentators,
Byron Saxton's dad had recently passed.
Yeah, no, but one of the other ones was supposed to be not there, and then Byron Saxton's dad passed away, so they were down to only having one commentator. So just having
David Otunga.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, I don't really mind.
I don't like David Otunga.
I don't mind him, but and then you had Big E and Xavier Woods, who throughout the segment they should have just been on all night because Michael Cole in the second half was just naff.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know what really annoyed me about it as well is how he tried to take over Tom Phillips.
Well, because
Tom Phillips is SmackDown's lead. Therefore, if you've got Michael Cole, you shouldn't have him come in.
Cole isn't a bad colour commentator. I don't like him as a lead commentator. He's not a bad colour commentator. I mean, yes. I'm going back to like the old school days, but I prefer him as a colour commentator than lead.
Yeah, definitely. So the night started with Shane McMahon booed to shit, rightly so. He accused Owens of hiding behind social media, accepted KO's challenge for a match at SummerSlam. He reminded fans that Owens has vowed to quit before, ironically in the same venue as this year's pay-per-view that was going to take place. So therefore the stipulation is going to be, I'm going to quit if I don't beat Shane McMahon. Cheers.
Well, Kevin Owens is winning that, so that's fine.
Hopefully.
Oh, he very much is going to win that.
And then that was that, I think, really. Oh, McMahon announced that Owens was going to face Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And then later on, after the break, we then had, oh, I'm going to be the special guest referee. Oh, you're going to be the ring timekeeper. Apparently, he doesn't...
I'm going to announce it.
Elias. He's going to be a timekeeper. Then says, I own a watch. No, you don't, because you're not wearing one.
You might just own one and just keep it in his...
No, but the fact is, he says, I've got a watch on me, and then he's not got a watch on him. It just didn't make sense. And then, who else was it? Oh, Shane McMahon was going to be the ring announcer, because Shane McMahon needs to hear his own voice again.
Great.
Then we had a non-title match, Apollo Crews versus Nakamura. Nakamura beat Apollo Crews, unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
I like Apollo Crews.
Oh, I like Nakamura.
Nakamura. Nakamura's a pile of wank.
Oh, don't fucking start this again.
Moving on! Quickly. Yeah, it was a alright match. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. Miz TV with Shawn Michaels. We've already mentioned it a little bit. So, Shawn Michaels pretty much called Dolph Ziggler a Shawn Michaels wannabe, which is great.
That's how you do it, Seth.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I do love how Shawn sells. Shawn sells death, and I love that.
Yes.
Wasn't a bad Ziggles promo either. I don't mind. Ziggles, I mean, yes, he does get erupt into a bit of shouty screaminess, but he's sort of getting it again now. We're sort of getting a bit more of the old Dolph again.
Which I like. But I always liked Dolph. Because he's underrated, in my opinion.
No, he's not.
He's underrated. Should be
No,
WWE
he's not.
champion.
No.
And a championship. Give him a WWE championship.
If anything, he's overrated.
Cheers. So then we had an kind of back and forth between the two. The Miz was therefore in kind of the middle and then said, look, Dolph, instead of talking about it, do something. Which he tried to do. And that super kick to Shawn Michaels, my God.
Sick growth.
And then the Miz got involved, and I don't know where this is going.
I don't know where it's going.
I don't know where it's going. Is it going to be Ziggler, Miz? For reasons?
For shits and giggles, I guess, maybe?
Is it just a throwaway segment on a SmackDown this week?
Probably building to one of the 340 matches at SummerSlam.
Yep.
I just want to say, apologies if you can hear the fan now. My missus just moved it somewhere closer because I wasn't getting any of it, and I've literally been...
Oh, my fan's been going on since...
I can't hear any fans.
I was wearing my T-shirt as a do-rag for half this podcast, and now I've been dabbing my face on it, and it is just wet.
I've just checked my my t-shirt and it's wet through. Just
Oh, that's a biggie. That's a really nice t-shirt as well, Sweden.
cheers, Primark special. Moving on.
Nah,
Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair.
Doesn't look like anything like Big E to me.
Yeah, I was going to say it, then I realised it's not that one.
Biggie Smalls, mate. Wrong Big E.
A little bit more.
But yeah, we had Ember Moon versus Charlotte Flair.
No.
Ember no. Which was assisted via a Bailey because wrestlers are stupid.
Yes.
Stupid. Oh, Bailey's music's playing. Why are you out here? I'm going to. Oh, I got pinned.
Yeah.
It turns out that later in the night she had a promo, did Charlotte Flair or an interview. Charlotte Flair says, I'm going to have a match at SummerSlam. I want a match at SummerSlam against somebody who's better than Ember Moon. And yeah, I deserve to be in the title picture effectively. I've heard on the grapevine it's going to be Trish Stratus.
Yeah, I have as well. I don't like that.
Why not?
Because she's not a very good wrestler.
I mean, she's the best legend we've had in the ring in the last 5 years. In the ring.
I mean...
Her match at Evolution and her match at whatever else, the one she did last year, they were both good matches.
Well, see, I would prefer it if Charlotte fought someone from the roster.
But there's nobody on the There's nobody on the roster that fits the bill.
Right. When she said this, I was going, right, who's on SmackDown?
I'm going to look now.
Sex and Violence. You got Sex and Violence.
Who's Sex and Violence?
Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Oh, you mean Fire and Desire?
Sex and Violence.
Wind and Rain.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yeah, so we've got Earth, Wind and Fire. But obviously, Fire had to retire, so it's just Earth and Wind. And then
Iconics,
who are the tag team champions. You've got Kairi Sane and Asuka, who are a tag team and therefore can't fight in singles fights.
Ember
Moon, who's fighting Bailey for the top title.
And that's it. Oh, and Carmella?
Carmella, but she's too busy.
Running around R-Truth.
Yeah.
Who else?
That's it for SmackDown.
Carmella, Lana.
Lana's not there because Rusev's not there.
Tamina. Liv Morgan.
Tamina's on SmackDown. Liv Morgan. But Liv Morgan has to go away and become a new woman.
But she was supposed to do that for this week. She said, I'll be back next week.
I believe,
BRB
and don't quote me on this, that she's having some time off for some surgery. I don't know whether it's cosmetic surgery or whether it's like injury surgery, but I believe she's out for 3 months.
That's annoying because I'm really enjoying Smoothman made a breast gesture there.
I was joking. Liv, I don't mean that in a bad way. I was just joking.
Oh, yeah, I ratted you the fuck out there. Try and get yourself out of that hole, mate. Wait, what?
California.
Cool. But yeah, I don't know who's going to be. I've read it's going to be Trish Stratus. I have a feeling it could be because it's in
Toronto. Yeah. If we fuck it, it's going to be there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Get Edge out. Get Edge to give her a spear now, dude.
And then we got the Kofi came out and did a who am I going to defend my title against at SummerSlam.
Even though wasn't it already supposed to be Randy?
We mentioned, I think, last week that we thought it might be Randy Orton.
There was no confirmation until this week, but it was all over the internet for the last 6 weeks that was going to be the title feud.
Which it is going to be Randy Orton. So it's going to be Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston. They pretty much recalled everything that happened in 2009 from Madison Square Garden. We had the footage.
Stupid.
We had the Kofi accusing Randy Orton of using his influence to hold him back, which then he just went, yeah, I did.
Because you weren't ready for it. Which you could argue, technically he's right.
Yeah. And then he's like, you weren't ready then, and you're not ready now. I'll take that title off you.
I think Randy's going to win this, by the way.
I genuinely think so too. Then we had a match, non-title match, Kofi versus Samoa Joe, which ended in a no contest because Randy Orton tried to do a RKO to Kingston. Kingston got away from it. Then Joe grabbed hold of Orton and then he took an RKO. And then we had a Kingston Trouble in Paradise to send a message supposedly.
Message was sent and delivered.
Indeed. I don't mind this match, to be honest. I think it's definitely the story behind it from, 10 years ago.
Makes sense.
I don't mind it. Finn Balor. This was a interview in the ring that started. He talked about how he did look a little bit sheepish, which
Finn's never been great on the mic, has he?
No, but I mean, like, in terms of the Fiend stuff, has made him kind of a bit wary and a bit
skitty.
Kind of, yeah. We then had a Firefly Funhouse.
I loved this idea.
Which is incredible. And I said this weeks ago. If you do both of these characters, where one is all nicey and will play up to the person who it is, and then you've got the Fiend who will just come and kill you, then yeah, I can get on board with it. And it worked. I definitely think it worked this week, because he came out and had him in the middle, you've got Mercy the Buzzard, and you've got Rambling Rabbit, and he's just stood there going, I can't remember what he exactly said, but he was pretty much just being all nicey to Finn.
Oh, thank you for accepting our match, yay! And what was it? It basically just said, be wary of the Fiend, or words to those effects, and then it cuts to the Fiend. I'm adamant that he's got Slipknot's theme as well. He's got Slipknot music as his theme.
If he hasn't, we're disappointed.
I'm convinced he's got it.
He will. I don't think he will at all.
Oh, come on!
Oh, yeah, but listen to this. Slipknot have the theme for NXT.
Yeah, and
give it to Bray.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Especially if it's unsainted, because
the NXT theme cannot be a wrestler's theme as well.
That's going to be the theme. Another Slipknot song is going to be his theme, because he tweeted Slipknot saying, "I want this as my theme." Ages ago, it was Unsainted. It's called. It's a decent tune.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think because if Slipknot have got NXT a theme for NXT, I'm sure they won't mind giving one to Brad.
Definitely won't be giving. They might like let him license one. Yeah, give us some ducats.
Yeah.
Then
we moved on to the main event, which was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens. Ended in a no contest because of shenanigans. Obviously, we had Shane McMahon come out being the guest ring announcer. We had Drew McIntyre as a special guest referee, and then the timekeeper of Elias. It pretty much just said, look, this is going to be blah, 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 3-on-1, effectively. The match started, and Drew just got involved straight away, really getting pushy when he's trying to push them away from each other in the corner, which he didn't count. I'm sorry, he didn't do 1, 2, 3, and then split them up. Do your job properly. Stupid Zebra. And then we had that happened twice, and then it just turned into chaos because obviously they threw him over the side, and then Elias got involved, and then so did Shane. Shane McMahon needs to disappear. I can't deal with it anymore. Even Alice said the other day, Alice said to me when I was watching it, she was like, can Shane McMahon just disappear, please? I was like, yeah, I've been saying this for weeks. But it's just that usual thing, putting Kevin Owens over by defeating the odds, and him teaming up with Roman shows Roman still a face, even though he's a bit at the moment with that. He was a bit like, I'm not really a face, I'm not really a heel in this, because obviously KO was in there as well. It wasn't really a face or a heel in this match. And then the match didn't really happen, so it didn't really make any difference. But then there were stunners everywhere and a few Superman punches. And that was SmackDown. Anything to add, Matthew?
No, not really. Not with SmackDown. It was a good show. I enjoyed it, but it's still something quite a lot lacking from WWE TV at the moment. They need to.
Raw was just trash. Raw, you have to look at Raw as a one-off, because
I mean, I'd love to look at Raw as a one-off, but looking at the output that they've had from Raw this year,
they all feel like one-offs.
They're all, just trash. So
because this week I knew for a fact it's Raw Reunion. There's going to be no storyline progression whatsoever, or very little. It would have been great to have people put young talent over. That didn't happen. The only good thing again this week was the Fiend, which says a lot about WWE TV at the moment, that the Fiend is the best thing that's on TV, or the 24/7 title.
Yeah, it's and that's a big problem that they've got, and they're going to have to fix it sooner rather than later, because at the moment, like there's nothing on TV at the moment that could possibly sort of fix that. They've got to basically start again from scratch.
Yeah,
I like Kofi versus Orton. I think that's a good idea. I hope Kofi goes over him. We've all said we're not sure that's going to be the case.
Yeah, that's the thing. When I was watching it, I was thinking maybe this is where Kofi gets the win, but then it also makes me think: is this the person that's going to take it off Kofi because Kofi's had it for too long now?
Yeah, that's my concern, and
it'd be interesting to see how they play it. I think if we see what happens next week, we'll probably get a bit more of an idea, because SummerSlam's like 2 weeks away, isn't it?
3 weeks away. It's like the 11th of August.
Sorry, not this week.
Might be like 2 weeks on Sunday.
Yeah, 2 weeks Sunday, I think it is. Let's talk about NXT. This is the first NXT I've seen for a while, so I haven't really seen much of the breakout tournament, but this was a semi-final. We had Jordan Miles versus Angel Garza, whichever his name is. I'm just going to point it out. Angel Garza is a B-Tech version of Tai Chi, and only New Japan people will understand that reference.
Okay.
That is like, what? So, Angel Garza had trousers and then ripped them off and had pants on.
Yeah.
Tai Chi does that, and he's been doing it for years.
Right, okay.
That's why I've called him a B-Tech version of Tai Chi.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was pretty good. I didn't mind this match. It's good to show new talent. The
whole tournament's been really good. Like, I know you said you've not watched a lot of it, but yeah, the whole tournament has showcased that they've got some really talented guys. My criticism is I've not yet seen an interview with any of them. We've not seen any of them outside the ring. It's just a very New Japan style. Let's have a tournament and showcase these guys in the ring, but you don't see any of the
fact that the tournament is only done where you win, you move on. Because if you're like me and don't have time to watch it every week, I missed half of the people in it. So it's kind of like, if I look at the people who are in it, because I can't remember. I know Isaiah Swerve was in it.
Yeah.
Whoever that is. I know who it is. It's Shane Strickland. But
I'd never seen any of these 8 guys going into this tournament.
No, I had not. I've heard of a few of them briefly, but I've never actually seen anything.
Yeah, one of them was Trevor Lee, was he?
Yes.
In a previous life.
Cameron Grimes, I think.
Yeah, so like I'd heard of some of them, like Shane Strickland, obviously. Yeah, so there's like some of them you heard of, but I've never seen any of them wrestle. They've all done really well in the ring. They've all come across as good wrestlers. Is that enough? I don't know.
Yeah, for example, I didn't see anything of Dexter Lumis. Bearing in mind, I'd seen pictures of him on NXT's Instagram and was like, who's this guy? I wanted to find out more. And then I saw he was in this tournament. I wanted to watch more. But because I don't watch NXT that often, I kind of missed it. So I think what they could have done with this is they could have done, I know they don't want to be like New Japan where you face each other in like blocks or whatever. But you could have done like a round robin where everybody faces each other. Whoever gets the most points then goes to the semis.
Yeah, I mean, there's only 8 guys. It's not like it's pretty 30 guys or 40 guys or whatever. And
if it was like that, then I'd say, yeah, that's fine. But for example, I didn't see anything of Bronson Reed or Isaiah Swerve, Cameron Grimes. The only people I've seen were Garza and Miles because they were on yesterday.
Yeah, so that was the first semi-final. And and there's another one next week, I think.
I don't understand why they have to change their names. I don't know why Shane Strickland needed to change his name to Isaiah Swerve Scott. Because so when he was in Evolve, he was Shane Strickland. Surely WWE is part of Evolve, or Evolve is part of WWE. Why change his name?
They did it with Dominik Dijakovic, didn't they? He was somebody Dijak or Devon Dijak or something like that, and he had a. It was better than that. He had a really good name. He'd wrestled in Evolve, and then they just changed his name again for no reason.
Angel Garza, they changed his first name from Humberto. Granted, they've already got
Humberto.
So therefore we need to change his name. But they could have just called him Garza. Although that sounds a bit like a place in Iraq.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I don't think it's in Iraq either. I think
I don't know. It's just WWE change. If it's somebody from Evolve, why change their name? Unless there's somebody else with a similar name, then I can understand. But yeah, it's just it just frustrates me. But yeah, this was a good match. The win was quite cool. The German suplex into a bridge, deadlift, which I love a good deadlift German. They look quite cool.
Yeah.
Mainly because I wish I could do one myself.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good way of showcasing his strength and power. I don't think that's the move that he won his previous match with, which, goes to show that these guys are in developmental. They've not got a set finisher yet. You'll see different things from them from time to time. I'm all for this. I thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm. Bianca Belair and Xia Li. I think this is the first time I've seen Bianca Belair for a while, isn't it?
Yes.
I've not seen anything on Twitter or Instagram when they've had not tapings, but the shows when they've been on. So I assume this is the first time she's been back for a while.
It's the first time in a fair while. In fact, I don't think she's been on since her last loss.
Which was
Takeover? Baszler at Takeover, was it? Or did she might have lost in like a...
I think Belair's lost to Mia Yim recently.
Yeah, I think she lost to Mia Yim either just before or just after Takeover 25.
But yeah, Bianca Belair won. Was pretty much just a Bianca Belair match, really. She was the more dominant, more of the attacking moves, and she won in the end. I don't think Xia Li did a lot, really, that I remember.
Not that I remember either. There was the only big bit of offense she got in was Belair put her up into a hold suplex, did some squats, and then Mia Yim kneed her way out, and not Mia Yim. Is it me? Yeah, Xia Li kneed her way out and then did some of her, because she's a Chinese karate champion or something like that. And she did a load of like karate kicks and chops and got a little bit of offense in there, but was quickly turned around again.
Mm-hmm. Then we had a Velveteen Dream promo where he addressed the universe. Pretty much just said he kind of talked about his rivalry with Roderick Strong. He said Strong will learn that he's not big enough to ride this ride. He pretty much just said, look, I want a better opponent other than Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong's not worthy. I want someone who's bigger and better. We then had Roderick Strong come out anyway, lay down a challenge for TakeOver. Then, out of nowhere, we heard the Bruiserweights theme. Pete Dunne is back on US soil after being in NXT UK for a while. As he got into the ring, Roderick Strong tried to do something with his hand, and then he pretty much grabbed it, snapped his fingers, he went reeling, and then they had a stare down with Dream, which Dream backed away from. Yeah. He got a pop. I think they've missed him, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they have, and I think it's good to see Pete Dunne finally in NXT. I think it's longer than I thought it was going to take. for Pete Dunne to get into NXT after losing his WWE UK champion? NXT
I think he
UK
kind of had
championship?
to, though, because from what I've seen on NXT UK, what very little I've seen, they had to have, obviously, British Strong Style versus Imperium. They had to get all of that stuff out of the way, which I think the recent tapings have just finished, the ones that download. So that makes complete sense now for NXT to say, look, I'm back. And even William Regal in the background was saying, look, when he did a promo with Strong, look, Johnny Saint says that he's going to be here for a while. He's not coming back to NXT UK for a bit. He's part of the NXT roster, therefore get used to it. And then put him straight into the match at Toronto, NXT TakeOver Toronto, which is going to be a triple threat for the North American title, which in some ways makes sense. I think this could be the start of Velveteen Dream moving towards the NXT title instead of this one.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think that's it. I think either Strong or Dunne will take the title here.
Mainly because it's a triple threat, and therefore he doesn't have to be pinned, therefore keeps him strong.
Yeah, so it's a lot better idea than having Samoa Joe lose the US title and then the following week get a WWE title match. Like, that is difficult logic to follow, whereas here at least you'd have Velveteen Dream loses because Pete Dunne gets pinned by Strong, or Strong Pete. You've got the history between Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong,
which I think they play on. They mentioned it briefly in commentary.
Yeah, already, and it's only going to be great. I think that would be a great feud to have coming out of the NXT takeover. I think you're right. This then allows Dream to maybe have 2 or 3 matches on NXT and then go for the top title again. You can build him that way, and that's how I'd do it. And yeah, I can't wait. Velveteen Dream.
There's not many people there, so
yeah,
it makes sense. Katie Catanzaro versus Io Shirai didn't really happen because she won by a disqualification, did Shirai, because we had an interruption by Candice LeRae. I think that's the match going into TakeOver, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. I'd love to see Candice win and get herself towards the title picture.
Yeah, me too. And then we've got Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole announcing their takeover matches. I kind of was half paying attention to this.
So it's going to be...
Is Adam Cole's going to pick one stipulation, Gargano's going to pick the second, and then the third one is going to be picked by William Regal in case it goes to a third. Third fall.
So is this a 2 out of 3 falls match with each fall having a different stipulation?
Yes.
Which is a bit weird.
Which is effectively a 3 stages of hell match.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't call it 3 stages of hell because some of the stipulations that they might pick. For example, Gargano might pick something else.
I mean, Gargano's picked a street fight, hasn't he?
He has picked a street fight, yes. Has Cole picked his?
I don't think so.
Cole, ever a champion, not afraid to show off his swagger, opted for a straight wrestling match while simultaneously.
Yeah, no, you're right.
That Undisputed Era will leave the event with all the gold.
Yes, I do remember that promo now. Yeah, Gargano did it like in the first 15 minutes of the thing, whereas Cole did it later on. But yeah, and I can't wait. I'm really excited for this match at TakeOver. I wasn't as big of a fan of the 2 out of 3 falls match last time. I
know we mentioned it when we did the one after it, the podcast after it, and we said, look, it was lackluster for the first 2 falls because you had to have those first 2 falls to get to the kind of
what's going to happen.
Many near falls that we had in the last one.
Yeah, that actually meant something.
A little bit better in the first 2.
I'd like to see the street fight. If they're going to have a street fight in a wrestling match, I'd like to see the street fight go first. I think that way you can then play up to stuff in the second match. If that's just a straight wrestling match, you can have believable falls where the person who lost a street fight looks like they're going to lose 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. I think the third one, a lot of people have been mentioning it on Twitter, I think, about a caged style match, whether it's Hell in a Cell or a steel cage match, but I don't think they need it.
I like the idea of it, but are they really going to hang a steel cage above a ring if there's a chance that doesn't happen? So all that's going to do is make it the same as the last one, where we knew there was going to be one fall each. Like I say, I'd like it so that I could believe that somebody was going to win 2-0.
Yeah.
And I think the only way to do that is street fight, then your wrestling match, and then a different stipulation at the end. But it can't be something that you need to be.
Because then the title's already at the ringside. They could lower the thing. The referee takes the title, puts it up, and then do it instead of having it at the start. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be like it's going to be a long takeover, because I think they always have 5 matches, don't they? This could easily be an hour and 15 minutes of Cole versus Gargano, which I'd love to see. I'd love to see the street fight go for a while, them end up somewhere backstage, then they've got to come back out again, have entrances again, get back down to the ring, have the wrestling match go the other way, and then have to set up for another stipulation. I'd like to see sort of like 5-minute breaks in between the two, so that you believe that they can get back and it's going to be an even more exciting third part to it.
Yeah. Main event of NXT this week was Keith Lee versus Damian Priest. Damian Priest seems to be getting more TV time, which means he's going to be part of the TV tapings a lot more often. However, I don't know whether it's right to have him beat Keith Lee.
I don't think it is.
It was very out of nowhere.
He doesn't look on the same level. I quite like the guy.
Oh, I like his character, I like his kind of demeanor and all of that.
But I don't think I think Keith Lee is somebody that could hold the NXT title. I'm not sure that Priest is. I think Priest, for me, is more of an NXT North American title, as kind of where I see him moving towards. Whereas Keith Lee, I know Dijakovic got injured and that's what killed that feud off. But for me, I think the initial plan for the end of the Cole Gargano feud was the winner of the Dijakovic versus Keith Lee feud. And I think Keith Lee could easily walk into a top level feud, whereas I'm not sure. Like I say, I'm not sure that Priest can.
No, there's a bit where Damian Priest jumped over the top rope or did a torpedo, or suicide dive.
Tope suicida.
And Keith Lee just caught him.
Yeah.
Now I think he tried to do a flip. No, it was a tope con hilo. No, it wasn't a suicide dive. He did an actual flip over the top, and he caught him mid flip. And then it looked like he was going to powerbomb him onto the apron, but then it didn't happen. Which I think you should have gone through with him being powerbombed onto the apron to make it look legit. It kind of took the shine off how amazing.
Yeah, he fought out of the powerbomb, didn't he? You're right.
Go, that looks so cool. Oh, he's going to powerbomb.
Yeah, it kind of took the edge off the spot, didn't it?
Yeah. But the match was won because Priest had been in the corner. He distracted, hit Keith Lee with the referee a little bit, pushed the referee, and kind of got him chatting, or whatever referees do, and then hit him with what he's calling the reckoning, which just looks like a crossroads. Does it not? No. It's a stunner style crossroads. I can't explain it. But yeah, he won for the with that. It was very odd because the crowd kind of summed up how both me and Matt felt. I think you hear we were very much like, this is a weird way to have Keith lose, and the crowd just went, "What? He's lost."
Yeah, that was it. Like, he did not feel like the kind of opponent that could beat Keith Lee, and then he beat Keith Lee, and that was exactly the reaction. They didn't get an "oh my god" pop. They got a "wait, what?"
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
Definitely knew it was going to be a Keith Lee win when they see the match, and then they see what happened, and you just go, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
that was NXT.
Yeah,
which is it was okay.
Yeah, not the worst show of the year. Like I say, NXT weekly shows, I think, are the only consistently good weekly shows at the moment in wrestling.
Yeah. If we go to what else is happening, there is the G1 Climax. Holding my hands up right now, I haven't seen any of the G1.
Have you seen a single match yet?
I saw the G1 on the first night. I saw the G1 in Dallas, where there was hardly anybody people there.
Does this mean I've seen more G1 matches than you?
Potentially.
Because I've seen 6 matches in total.
Oh.
I don't know who was in 2 of them, but
Will Ospreay.
No. I have seen Will Ospreay, but he wasn't in. There was a couple of matches where there were 2 Japanese guys that I had Japanese commentary because I was streaming them on totally legitimate sites with Japanese commentary, and I get names like Ospreay and Moxley and Kenta, but when they are talking really quickly and it's in with a lot of other Japanese words, the Japanese guys, I don't pick their names out of the spiel.
The way that they do Japanese names is they do their surname surname first, I think. So, for example, like Hiroshi Tanahashi would be Tanahashi Hiroshi.
But the problem is when they say Tanahashi Hiroshi in the middle of a sentence with Japanese words either side of it, it's very difficult to pick it out.
I could imagine. But at the moment, according to Jack's very nice spreadsheet, we've got 5 days. I don't know if that's true. I think it might be 6 after today. I think the 6th day was today. Let me just find out. Let me just have a look.
Yeah, I haven't got a clue.
While we're here. The date today is
the 25th of July.
So, no, there was one on the 24th. There's one on the 27th, 28th, and 30th. So, these should be up to date. Therefore, at the moment, Block A is looking like this. Kenta is at the top with 6 points. Lance Archer, Okada, and Evil are all on 4. Will Ospreay, Bad Luck Fale, and Sanada on 2. Kota Ibushi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Hiroshi Tanahashi are on 0. Block B is looking like this. Juice Robinson and John Moxley are tied at, and Tomohiro Ishii are all tied at the top with 4. Toriano, Hiroki Goto, Taichi, and Shingo Takagi are all on 2. And then Naito, Jay White, and Jeff Cobb are on 0. Which is really interesting. I mentioned this. I don't know if I mentioned this to Jack last week, but seeing Jay White, Tetsuya Naito, and Kota Ibushi on 0 and Tanahashi on 0 is a bit weird.
Yeah, but is it not because New Japan booking is very different to WWE booking?
Oh, massively. Bearing in mind, there's still however many days of the G1.
Yeah, there's still like 25 days, like 25 nights worth of wrestling.
In total. Yeah. So we've got...
So we've had 5 nights.
11, 12, so 13,
still got...
15, 16, 17, 18. And then the finals on the 12th of August.
Yeah, so like anybody can still at this point reach the final.
Yeah, because I think it's 2 points for a win?
Yeah, 2 points for a win, 1 for a time limit draw, and no points for the loss. I think the big thing for me was Will Ospreay not winning his first match. And the other big thing is Kenta. Like, did anybody really see New Japan pushing a guy who's never been in New Japan before, who was in a different Japanese product growing up, and then went to WWE.
I genuinely thought he'd go far in the tournament. I genuinely, when they did his debut, and he didn't wrestle on his debut. He just came out. I think that was at Dominion. I think.
Yeah.
And they've got, I've forgotten his name. He's a retired wrestler. He does the LA Dojo. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. People in the wrestling community are going to go, Smoothman knows nothing. He's supposed to know New Japan. But he's kind of like a big figure in New Japan, and he came out being endorsed by him. That kind of makes you go,
okay.
Could be quite big. But yeah, it's interesting to see who wins. I think Kenta will get to the final. I think this is just Ospreay dabbling into the heavyweights. Same with Shingo Takagi. Like, I saw John Moxley's promo today where he said, Shingo Takagi's not a light heavyweight. What are you talking about? Did you not just see this? And he's like giving off this big promo about how he nearly took his head off, which was quite funny. But
yeah, I mean, like you say, I've actually gone out of my way to watch matches for the first time ever for New Japan stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need to watch. What I'm going to do, I said this last week, Jack has made a best to worst listing on our spreadsheet. So I think I'm just going to watch the best matches that are on there, or probably 3 3/4 up, I think. But that's it for today. We are, as always, on Twitter at BadBookersWP. Make sure you go and check our website, www.badbookers.com. Go over to our YouTube channel where any of this podcast is fed through there, and any more content that is coming up will be there. That's Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast on YouTube. I can't remember what I was going to say.
www.badbookers.com.
Already. Let's do it. Badbookers.com. Once again, thank you very much for listening. Make sure you put 5 stars on this wherever you're listening, and make sure you share it around so that you can let your other wrestling friend heroes listen to us ramble on about nonsense. Thank you very much for listening. See you later.
Bye.